All right, so if you've been thinking about finding a new job or even switching careers, this could be your chance.
Yeah, according to data compiled by Forbes, now is the best time to start sending out those resumes because January and February see the largest number of open jobs and applications. So joining us now, mindset coach and author Katie Horwitch, and Johnny Taylor. He's the CEO for the Society for Human Resource Management. Great to have you both. Thank you so much. So let's talk about what it is about a new year, Johnny, that makes people want to find a new job, and what are some of the reasons that people are wanting to leave their current jobs?
So it's the old New Year's resolution concept, right? It's the reason so many of us are running off to do gyms, right? New year, new everything.
New me.
New me, that's right. But on the employer side, we now have budgets.
Right.
Most of us were in a calendar year, was our fiscal year, so you stopped hiring in November, slowing historically, unless you're in retail, you slow down. So all of a sudden we're back now, new budgets, new world, very optimistic about 2024, and so people are looking. And what we know, number one, chief amongst the reason that people are leaving, 60% people say pay.
Pay. That's what's. I mean, and also when we talk about from a mindset perspective, Katie, what should people think about before they take the leap?
Yeah, I like thinking of jobs in terms of almost like these mini sort of school experiences. So asking yourself, have I learned everything that I can from this job? Have I explored all of the options that I'm willing to explore? Because that's important, because not all of the options we're willing to explore, right? Am I financially stable? To your point, do I have 3 to 6 months worth of basic expenses there? And what is my why for leaving? And what do I want instead? What am I after?
That's a great point.
Those are all great questions. Here's the thing, Johnny, you don't want to leave a bad situation and then have the big regret. It's a worse pool that you've jumped into. What are some red flags to look out for when you're interviewing?
People managers. That's it. We know that the data is overwhelming. Most people are leaving their jobs because of their people manager, not their company. So I love my company, I just can't stand the person I work for.
Oh, wow.
And so you got to be really careful during the interview process not to just jump for money, as tempting as it is, not to just jump for the brand of the company, but who am I actually going to go work with? What's it like to work with that person?
Ooh, very good.
Speaking of which, I mean, what are some of the cultural questions about a workforce that people should be looking for, asking, aware of, Katie?
Yeah, I think that a red flag that people can look out for is maybe an overemphasis on we're all a family here, or look at all of these benefits, where you're not actually learning about the work that you would be doing. Or if you get a sense, maybe in informational interviews, that there's a prevailing sense of negativity or cynicism. This is the culture that you're entering into, and studies show that we spend the majority of our time at work with our coworkers, virtually or in person. And so really looking at what is the environment that I am entering into is so important, because that's going to inform the rest of your life.
And these days you have access to that.
Yes.
Between the glass doors and all these folks, you can actually go and learn about an organization, not just from the recruiter who's going to put on their best face and sell the employer brand. You're going to be able to ask people who worked there.
Yeah, and Glassdoor being that website you're talking about. Look, we're in an environment with a lot of layoffs, and people are going to have to maybe apply for new jobs that are outside their comfort zone. What's your advice for that job search process?
Yeah, you got to be very, very careful about it, because on one hand, you jump, and you talked about jumping out of the frying pan into the fire, essentially. If you do that too many times, now your resume looks like you hop. And increasingly, no one wants to hire you because you've made hiring mistakes. So you've got to be very intentional about searching the company, the job, and then the hiring manager.
So what if you have jumped from the fire to the frying pan? What if you decide, I'm going to do the leap, and I go to a new company, and you actually don't like it once you get there? What do you do then?
Oh, well, you want to be proactive.
That's right.
Not reactive. Sort of that jumping and jumping toward the salary, toward running away from something. You want to know what you're running toward. And so I think sometimes there are very real reasons for staying. So reframing it as it's not your forever normal, it is your for now normal. This is a means to an end. It can help you take back some of the agency, get yourself grounded so you can be in a proactive space, moving forward, looking for what you do want, and ultimately who you want to be at work.
And fail fast. If it's not working, get out. The longer
don't stick it out?
No. I mean, obviously, sometimes you have a slow start. But at the end of the day, if it ain't working, do something about it quickly for your own good and the organization's good.
That's a great point.
It's like relationships.
That's right.
That's a word. That's a word on Friday. And tune in, folks. Stay for the relationship advice. That was great.
Quickly before you go, what is one question you should ask? They always say, like, do you have a question for me at the end when you're doing an interview? What should it be?
Yeah.
Oh, I love the question. What would you have wanted to know when you first started, or what has surprised you along the way?
Okay.
Right. I always ask, describe the culture. If you're going to work for a manager and they can't articulate their culture, wrong spot.
That's the wrong spot. Johnny, Katie, thank you so much. And you're watching NBC News.